Hello guys, hope you all doing well. We have created this channel Mysteries of Thrones to bring before you some interesting facts and events about the most high rated and popular TV show Game of Thrones. Our videos will be based on the possible plot leaks of season 8 and also on the explanation of many of the famous theories. So let's move on to our first video explaining the plot of season 8 episode 1. Aftermath of the Night King's attack on Eastwatch by the Sea, Tormund and Gendry are able to flee the scene. Undead Viserion sets crows and undead afire. Lord Beric Dondarrion stays behind to fight the White Walkers, but not before killing the White Walker that killed Ed. Ed is stabbed to death by a White Walker. Tormund and Gendry ride for Winterfell, whilst we see a burning Castle Black in the background. Daenerys, Jon, Tyrion, Davos, Jorah, Brienne, Podrick, the Hound, Missandei, Varys and Theon arrive in Winterfell. Davos remarks that it has gotten much colder and darker since he has left with Jon. Jon and Arya are first reunited. Daenerys meets Sansa Stark and Sansa asks whether she and Jon are in love now. Daenerys don't give a proper response to that. Sansa doesn't seem too pleased with Jon returning to Winterfell and Daenerys' presence. Jon notices this and chats with her. She mentions Littlefinger's death and how he has always betrayed them right under their nose. She says it is plain stupid to work together with Cersei Lannister. The Hound and Arya also have a conversation with each other. Arya tells the Hound she did not regret to leave him behind without having him killed off. The Hound answers that Arya should have had him killed off right there, especially with the things he has seen beyond the wall. Euron Greyjoy arrives back in King's Landing with the Golden Company and meets up with Cersei Lannister and the commanders of the Golden Company in the throne room. Cersei thanks Euron for having the sellsword shipped to King's Landing. Cersei orders the commander-in-chief to take Storm's End and to have the army gathered in the fortress. Robert Baratheon once told her that the fortress has stood for many centuries and she is sure that it will keep standing during the long night as well. Since there is no Baratheon holding the castle any longer, it would not be too difficult to just take it themselves. They'll need to protect themselves during the Great War. The next morning, Euron leaves with his ship the Silence to ferry the sellsword to Storm's End and to take the fortress. After he comes back, he tells Cersei he wants to be her king. Inside the Silence, Euron has a conversation with Yara Greyjoy about Queen Cersei. Yara point blank tells him that she knows he is not interested in being Queen Cersei's husband at all. Euron laughs and tells her his good friends from Braavos will take care of that problem soon enough. Daenerys, Jon, Sansa, Tyrion, Davos, Missandei, Sam, Varys, the Northern Lords and the Knights of the Vale gather in the Great Hall of Winterfell. Sweet Robin and Jon Royce are also present in this scene. Sam reunites with Jon and the two share a hug. Jon tells Sam he is glad to have him back. The Northern Lords are not too pleased to accept Daenerys as their queen. Daenerys defends herself very well, but she does not get the support of the North just yet. Lyanna Mormont tells Daenerys Targaryen that she will never call her Your Grace, because she only knows one king and that is Jon Snow, the king in the North. Tyrion smiles and mentions that she is a ferocious girl, on which Jorah replies that Mormont don't stand back for anything. Jon tells them there is no time to argue with each other and brings up that there has not been word of the Lannister army yet. Sansa responds that she warned them not to trust Cersei Lannister. Tyrion mentions that they can trust his brother Jaime, but Daenerys doesn't seem to agree on this one. The group discusses how they will defend the North against the Night King's army. Jon Snow tells Robin it's wise to bring the Eyrie into the fold and to lure the Night King in there. Robin does not really seem to care and accepts Jon's proposal. After the meeting, Daenerys tells Jon that the Northerners really are stubborn and small-minded people. Theon Greyjoy visits the Godswood of Winterfell and thinks of his friend Robb and meets with Bran Stark. He immediately apologizes to Bran for everything he has done against House Stark, but Bran tells him there is no need for that. He knows that Theon has redeemed himself by saving his sister Sansa. He has seen how much he has suffered at the hands of Ramsay Bolton. Theon asks him how he knows all of this. Bran does not respond to that. Arya and Brienne are training and Jon is impressed by his sister's fighting skills. Arya mentions that she has never forgotten to stick her enemies with the pointy end. He asks Arya why she did not join the meeting in the Great Hall of Winterfell. Arya answers that Sansa is way better in those things than she is. In Atlantis, Lady Melisandre enters the Red Temple. She is again welcomed by Kinvara. Melisandre tells Kinvara that she has played her part in the Great War to come. She has united ice and fire. She has served King Jon Snow, the prince who was promised, and brought him back to life. Kinvara tells Melisandre that she has served their god well on that part, but she also made a lot of mistakes where she needs to pay for. Kinvara tells Melisandre that their god demands one more sacrifice of Melisandre, which requires her to return to the north. Melisandre answers that she is not allowed to enter the north. Kinvara smiles and answers Melisandre that she could benefit from her punishment then. We see Jaime Lannister at an inn when he meets up with Bronn. Jaime is surprised to see Bronn and asks him why he followed him. Bronn answers that there is nothing left for him in that stinking city and he is up for some adventure in the north. Jaime is glad to have Bronn by his side. Bronn asks him why he has left the woman he loved the most, but Jaime does not fully respond to his question. He then asks what he is planning to do now he has left King's Landing. Jaime tells Bronn he is on his way to River Run to bring the garrisoned Lannister army back to the fold. Bronn asks him why he would give up the castle he has been occupying. Jaime answers what purpose that would have. What does he gain with that? For all he cares, Edmure can have River Run back. Tormund and Gendry arrive in Winterfell. Jon Snow asks Sansa why Bran did not take the time to join the meeting in the Great Hall and did not even come to speak to him. Sansa tells Jon Bran has changed a lot and calls himself the Three-Eyed Raven now. She tells him not to expect much of a conversation with him. Samwell comes in between and tells Jon there is something he and Bran urgently needs to tell him. Bran first sees Jon in the Godswood when he is looking into the past. Jon mentions that he has encountered a warg beyond the wall. Sam responds that Bran is much more than a warg, he is a Greenseer. The two inform Jon Snow about his parentage, which Jon does not seem to believe at first. Bran tells Jon he knows everything about him. He saw him beyond the wall, surrounded by free folk. He saw him fighting at Hardhome against the Night King and he saw how he was stabbed to death by his own men. Jon can't really believe he is a Targaryen. Sam mentions that he is the one with the right claim on the Iron Throne, not Daenerys Targaryen, but Aegon Targaryen. Hope you guys liked the video and let us know about what do you think of this possible plot explanation in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe our channel and stay tuned for more videos and updates.